Okay, put my phone down. I'm good with that. So, this is going to be a little bit of a meeting as a reminder of like, almost like if we were starting. Okay, so we have a plethora of people here is the thing. So some of you have been in Shoot for the Moon and you've done some of the trainings. You've already done a welcome to that. You know what it takes to get to leadership. You understand PICAs and yada yada. Some of you are brand new to this. The idea, and by brand new, I mean the idea of stepping into leadership and what that looks like. Some of you have wanted it before and took a step away and you're back. So, and some of you are leaders already, right? We've got some leaders on the call too. So I'm treating this kind of as like I would as if you were all just joining Shoot for the Moon and that next step to leadership. However, as I sent you guys in the message, I'm treating it even more like an SOS 911, which sounds like dramatic, but there's a double promotion on the line. So I do feel like I need to be a little bit dramatic, if that makes sense, right? Like I need to get some stuff out to you guys. We need to get working. And number one, I'm hoping after we get done with this is like a belief and your why and your mission, because I can't say enough, and I'm probably going to repeat this over and over again, but if I don't, this is probably the number one note for you guys today is I can give you all the trainings in the world, which a lot of you have done all the trainings. I can tell you how to do connected contacts, how to book parties, how to do all the things, but I can't do it for you. I can't want it for you, right? Like I can wish it, I can pray it, I can do all the things, but you have to believe in yourself. So that's what we're really going to get down to. The nitty gritty of this is like your why, your dream board, what's going to move you to put some work in every day in this business of yours, right? Or lots of hours in a week, maybe not every day because your schedule doesn't allow that because you work 12 hours, 5 days a week or whatever, right? You know what that looks like for you, but you also know what it looks like that you're binge watching a show or you're, playing a game on your phone. And I'm not against those because we all need some mushy brain every once in a while too, right? Like I'm not saying never, but we all know that like 30 minutes you were going to watch the show or the 30 minutes you were going to play the game became 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, sometimes even more, right? Like, let's be honest, show of hands. I'm just as guilty. And I want to make sure that whatever that wasted time is for you, that it's you're reminding yourself it's your why. Like I've got a business to run too, even if it's on top of being a stay-at-home mom, on top of running kids all over the place, on top of working a full-time job, whatever that looks like. I'm not dismissing that you all have those things, but I want us to really focus on that. So really quick, I have no slides or anything like that prepared for this either. This is just a whole lot of notes and a whole lot of things. So I hope you have your pen and paper ready as well. I'll try to stop for questions, but really quick, I do want to just quickly go over what it does mean to be a director. And that is 4 of your own PICAs. And that is your personally enrolled, qualified, and active consultant. If you need any help with any of this, please let's have a private conversation. If you're still like, what the heck is a PICA? What, any of these steps, I want to talk about it later, but I do want them just in front of you on your notes right now too. Just gotta have 4. Now, once you hit director, we'll talk about that in a minute. You don't have to have 4 PICAs. You have to have 4 people on your team that are qualified. They don't have to be yours. That's a newer rule that I often forget. Okay. So I know. I see Tracy looking. It is. Trust me, because it's been new. I see Shannon shaking her head too. It's a newer thing. They have to have 4 QSCs to stay active. Now you have to have 4 PICAs to get your bonuses. Okay. So those 3 months, you got to have those 4 PICAs. But eventually, so like right now, Shannon, I'll just use you as an example. If you go look up your QSCs, you probably have 6 or 7 or 8 or more. I don't know, but you have more than 4, okay? Right. Because you have Derica, I'll use as an example, who has some people underneath her who have qualified, right? Jessica, same thing. You have Christina, who's got a couple people under her, right? Like those are your QSCs. Okay, Tracy, you'll have some too. Okay, but I don't want to spend too much time on that. Directors, let's talk about that later because I think I'm going to lose these guys because they're not going to care about QSCs and PICAs right now. Okay, so you're going to have those 4 PICAs. Someone was looking over my shoulder. 9. You've got to have $1,000 in sales and $4,000 in team sales. Now, your $1,000 sales goes towards your team sales.
I always like reminding that. And those are all minimums. And I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want to be a minimum. I hope no one in this group, hence the name Shoot for the Moon, right? Like, we are not minimum people, okay? I like to say 2,000 needs to be your minimum a month, okay? And if I'm being super duper honest, in this Facebook world that we live in, now things have changed, because here's another thing. I know some of you, a lot of you actually on this call, are coming back from, you guys were home party girls, okay? Raise your hand if you've been a home party girl in the past, and that was you, right? There's a lot of you on the call I know right now. You've been home party girls. And that's a whole different ball game with what we had in sales, okay? So when I say Facebook party sales, they're bigger now. There is actually no reason that 2,000 isn't going to be your minimum. Now, I know some of you right now, you're like, holy cow, that sounds scary. And that's what you're supposed to have in this group. Everything should be scary, right? Everything should be a little uncomfortable. If it's easy, then you're not working hard enough. That's where I'm saying you're watching too much TV, you're doing something, right? You should constantly be wanting to push yourself, okay? More and more. So with that said, those first 3 months of you hitting your qualifications, there's no more, so back it up, there's also no more DIQ. So if you've been around for a while, there used to be a DIQ month. That meant you had to hit your stats and you didn't get paid that month. You just had to be a director and qualifying that first month. And then the next month you had to hit again and you would get paid, okay? We don't have that anymore, so that's a super cool thing. But those first 3 months are how you get the bonuses, okay? So we're talking about the double bonus right now, which is $2,000. So for those first 3 months, you better believe you better be trying to get 2,000. And honestly, because your team sales need 4, you're going to want to push for 3,000 or 4,000 yourself, okay? Depending on how strong your team is, all right? Knowing that you're still recruiting every month also. So if you're recruiting, then hopefully you're getting a couple launch parties in there, and all of it's going to go towards your launch. But I want you to be prepared to do your own, and I want you to know that you're constantly building. I don't want you to look at that $1,000 minimum and then be boo-hoo because you didn't hit your stats and you didn't get your things. Okay, I see there's some questions in the chat. We got anything going on there? Okay, is everything good with the audio and all the things? No? I don't know. It might be just you. Is it just Gresha? Anybody else having problems with audio?
It sounds like whatever is picking up your voice has changed, whether your microphone is weird, or I don't know if you have your phone there too, or if I'm not sure. That changed, and at first it got really kind of wonky, but now I can hear you fine. I don't know about everybody else.
It's just my laptop, so that is very odd because I don't even know what to fix. Ashley said
it's
she's
back to regular now because you sound like you did in the beginning now.
Weird.
So
okay,
I don't know what happened.
Okay, well, I have the chat open now, so holler at me if it does it again. I don't know what's happening. Okay, so that's all I want to talk about with any of that. If you have questions, and trust me, you are allowed questions. When I first was trying to be a director and was first a director, and I see the other directors shaking their heads, like I had to ask 100,000 times everything I just told you guys. Okay, so please don't think that you have to have that memorized. Maria, you have a question right now?
Yes.
Yep.
So for the director, is this for the qualifications? Is that over the course of 3 months, or is it every month?
Every single month. That's a great question. Yes. So to become a director, you just have to hit it the first month and you're going to start getting paid. But to get that bonus, you have to hit it 3 times to get that bonus. And that's by March 31st. So by March 31st, you've got to become a director. You've just got to hit either this month, February, or March. Let's say you don't hit it until March. You've got to hit it in March. You've got to hit it in April. You've got to hit it in May. And then on your June 10th paycheck, you're going to get that extra $2,000 bonus. Let's say you don't hit it until April. You've got to hit it April. You've got to hit it May. You've got to hit it June. You're not going to get the double promotion, but you're going to get the $1,000 bonus. Just to kind of give you guys an idea how that works. Does that make sense? Okay. So like I said, I can't stress enough, not minimum. So if $1,000 is a stretch for you right now, I want that to be your non-negotiable, like ASAP. And then I want 1,500 to be your non-negotiable really fast after that. And 2,000, a couple of weeks after that, right? Like I want you to keep pushing.
And we're going to get to the connected contacts and parties, and you'll see some math and all the things too. Okay, so some perks of leadership, just to kind of put out there, just like what are we working for, right? Obviously, the $2,000 bonus is very huge. That's in front of our face. That was hence the SOS 911. So you get an additional 10% off of your sales. So you're already making the 25% as a consultant. Let's say you're getting that $2,000 minimum that I'm telling you I really think you should work towards. That normally is going to be a $500 paycheck. You're giving yourself a $200 bonus on that $2,000 paycheck by being a director. $200 a month. Okay, that's a 10% raise. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know a lot of corporate jobs that give you a 10% raise, right? That enough right there is huge. Not to mention you still get the 3% override on your team below you. Okay, and that's not just your PICAs. That's your PICAs if they invite people too, right? So if you've got someone underneath you and they're joining, they're your team. Once you're a director, you get those people. Now, some of you are senior consultants and elite consultants, and you already know you're getting some extra stuff too. I'm not going to talk about all of that. Those are some fun little stepping stones along the way. Go to TOT if you don't know what you get there. But for having one PICA underneath you and two PICAs underneath you, those are some great little stepping stones too. Okay. The other thing that I want to stress, this is off topic a little bit of the perks, is I want you to push. Again, this is the whole, like if you watch Gretchen Manmiller's video that we had last month, it's the whole big ass, what you call them, bag goals, right? Big ass goals, right? Shoot for the moon and land in the stars. I want you to get the mindset right now. And I know some of you, your little hearts go flutter when I tell you this. I want you to be a director by February 28th. Why? Why do I want you to be a director by February 28th? Because if you miss it, you're in the stars, and March, you still get to shoot for the moon. It's not too late. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you're pushing to be a director by March 31st, and that's what your mindset tells you, most of you will not hit it, because you will wait until March to really push hard, and it will be too late. Okay. It has to be a short-term goal that you're pushing. And you have to also be okay that February 28th, hey, hot dog, I made it to senior consultant. I made it to elite consultant. I'm really, really close, right? I know what didn't work. I know what didn't happen this month. I know what now needs to happen in March, right? That's a better feeling than the safe goals that some of you think you're picking by saying, I think I'm going to be a leader by May even, because that feels safer. Because I've recruited before and she didn't do anything and I can't get any parties right now. And so that feels safer. And instead what you do is only hold 2 parties a month and only ask a few people a month to even join your team. And the ones that do are a kidnapper, and you blame it on the kidnapper that's why you don't have PICAs, right? I know some of you have heart palpitations right now. Like, I know you do. I know you do. And I want you to. That is the point. Like, I see the other directors, like, again, they're shaking their heads because they've been there. They know Danielle's pushed them to do the same thing. I'm telling you, my girls who have tried to take leadership, I will tell you one exception, and I don't know if she made it on the call. I don't see her here. It's Tammy Brinker. She is an exception to this because she looks like she's been slacking for several months and it's taken her forever to get a director, and she's not. Some of this is just luck of the cards too, you guys. It truly is, okay? Those diamonds are going to be out there and the consistency of the numbers are going to be out there. But besides Tammy, I can tell you every leader on this team, some of them might have been in business for a long time, but until they buckled down, did it take them just a few months, just a few weeks even, to become a leader, okay? And they can tell you they're playing in the grass prior to that. They were wishing and hoping and hoping and wishing and hoping and dreaming, and they had the goals, but they weren't doing 8 parties, and they weren't getting 2 recruits a month, and they weren't doing 60 connected contacts a month, right? Like, now I see them. Look at them shaking their heads. They weren't, okay? If you do the 60 connected contacts, and again, I know some of you have been, and you do the 8 parties and you do the recruits, it will happen. I would know it will, okay? I can't promise you by March. That's what we're pushing for. That's why you got to double up sometimes, but it will happen if you keep doing it. Now, if you slack for 1 month, I'm gonna tell you right now, it takes it 2 months to get back. That's the other thing. It's like weight. It's like when you gain 5 pounds, and then it took like a couple days and a couple meals, right? I'm literally right there. I'm literally speaking from last night's, freaking Crystal's gonna watch this afterwards, from last night's quinceanera. I gained 5 pounds, and I promise you, it took me 1 day to do that. It's probably gonna take me a week to 2 weeks to get those stinking 5 pounds off, right? It's gonna be twice as hard, if not more. It's the same way with your business. So you have to be honest with yourself too, that if you took a week or two off, the beauty of this business is it's flexible and you can do that. But you know, when you come back, you are going to have to work twice as hard or 3 times as hard or whatever that looks like, right? Okay, enough of that. We're going to get back on a little tangent, but I want to keep moving forward with some of the things on my notes. So another benefit that 31 is offered that I just want to remind you of is the bring your bestie. So this is another way that you're going to grow your team. Those are not going to be your pikas, but they are going to grow your team. So it is super, super important that when you get a recruit, you are immediately putting it in front of her that she gets to bring 2 besties with 20% coupon. Now, right now we've got 31% off kits, right? But keep that same mindset. Who is she going to bring along with her to join with her? Because they're all going to help her build your team. And who knows, she might be your next director underneath you. And that's what's going to move you up after being a director, is then you want directors underneath you. So you want to constantly be building your team, right? Not to mention it's just fun. Heather Beard can't be on this call, but she was my bestie when she joined, right? And we've been doing this for 9 years. Tracy and Shannon and Jessica and I are all besties, and Gresha, right? Like we're all, like, it's so much fun to do it with people who were already your friends, let alone you're going to make new friends. Okay. So just really keep that in mind too, how much fun it can be. Okay. Some more perks though. Recognition, you're going to get to walk the stage. So if you are a director by May 31st this year, we're going to be in person this year for Impact. I'm guessing there'll probably be a virtual option, but we're all pushing to try to be there in person. You're going to get to walk the stage. You're going to have a special day as a director, always at Impact, which is our conference. For those of you who don't know, they spoil us. They give us products. They give us shout outs, lots of information, lots of inside scoop, all the things. Same with, you have bi-weekly to weekly calls with 31 and home office. Same thing. We're always getting sneak peeks. We get to know, we kind of get in the know before you guys so that we can process it and figure out how to teach it and get it to you guys. So it's another perk. We get the inside scoop. We have what's called Summit, which a lot of us were just at in Texas. Same thing. We got to see the spring product already. We get literally in person. We got goodies with it, lots of recognition, all the fun things. So, and last but not least, that beautiful pink Cindy tote, if you've not seen it. So it's a Cindy tote, it's pink, it's got your last name and director, and super, super fun. Y'all know I hate pink, but it's still super cute. And it's still just a status quo, right? It's like Mary Kay in their pink car, like we've got pink, all the pink things, every level you hit, like it's just super fun. And last but not least, oh my gosh, travel. Okay, this becomes, some of us, honestly, our why. If Heather were on here right now, she would tell you it is her why, right? Like, not only do you get to get a paycheck and get spoiled, but you've got trips on the line. So there is a trip. Incentive earnings are starting February 1st. All the more reason we've got to get moving. We got to get grooving. We got to start getting the points. I don't even want to get into any of that right now because I don't want to stress you out with all the points. I want you to focus on January right now, roll it into February, and it's going to get launched to all of you guys. It's super duper exciting and it's super doable too, especially if you start now. Okay, it becomes harder when you wake up and you decide you want the trip in May and the earning period has been happening for a few months, right? You guys have an advantage that you're here right now already wanting leadership. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the points you get to become an elite consultant and a director after February 1st for this, you guys are gonna be like, holy cow. It's going to move you towards this trip. They are counting at this time. And that's not something they've done that in the past and they took it away and it's back. And we are all like, oh my gosh, first time leaders, you guys can get this trip. I'm telling you, you get those pikas, you get those promotions, you're going to get this trip. Like it's literally like it's practically impossible not to. And they're all shaking their heads. So I hope you see that. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is definitely all back to that why. So this is what I want you to write down. I want you to write down, and you can put it in the chat or in the comments too, as you think about it. And I want you to think really specific. What is an extra $1,000 a month going to give you? What are you going to do with it? And if it's bills, because a lot of us, that's what's going to say, you're going to say, I want specifics. What bills specifically is that going to pay? Is that going to pay your light bill and your Netflix and your phone, whatever it's going to be? I want to know, what are those bills actually going to pay? It's going to pay off your car. Perfect. If it's saving for a vacation, if it's things for your kids, whatever it's going to be, I want specifics. What are those $1,000 going to get? You need help, Ashley is saying, with getting more parties, how to approach wording, et cetera. We're going to get there. Give to my son for his down payment on his house and appliances. Awesome. Paying for repairs on the boat, student loans. Okay, cool. We're all getting it. Okay. I want you to also put down, what is the $2,000 bonus going to do for you? What are you going to do with that $2,000 bonus that you get? And again, be specific. What is all $2,000 minus, you know, you got to take some taxes out, right? You do got to save some of that. Student loans, yes, it's going to put dents in that. Bills and having extras. Good, Rebecca. I want to know what bills, though. I want you to be able to visualize, and I want you to be able to say to your husband and whoever you're bragging to and whoever you're just being accountable with, what bills and what extra. What are you going to do with the extra? Is it going to be you going to get nails done with your little girl? Like, what is the extra going to be for? Save it for a trip to Virginia Beach, car, bills, baby toys, visit Gresham, Florida. Ooh, loving it. Travel towards a cruise. Yes, so a cruise is a big one. All right. Okay, loving it. So these are something that you need in front of you. I'm challenging you all over the next week to get a dream board done. And there's a couple different styles, and it really depends on you. But the importance of a dream board is that you are going to see it every single day. So I'm going to pick on Tracy because I know she's in her office right now, and I know she's in there every day. So for her, she absolutely could do the poster board dream board that's literally right next to her laptop. And it shows whatever those things are, the boat, the cart, the credit card, the consumer's energy bill, whatever it is, right? She's got it right there because every day she's going to see it. Now, a lot of you, this is where it needs to be, right there. Instead of the goofy picture you have there, mine's goofy, yours might not be goofy. Whatever you have there, I want you to see it constantly. So you're going to get Pic Collage or Canva or something, and you're going to go find some, some boats, a cruise, a plane, because you're going somewhere, the state of Florida. I know it's boring, but those bills, right? You're going to snap a picture of your bills if you have to, right? And plop it on there. Okay. You need to see those every day because those are your why. Okay. Especially if you need those. Some of you that are posting some of these, like, pay the remaining off on your car, off your student bills, the electric, your car payment, right? I'm going to guess if that $1,000 is going towards it, I'm going to guess, because I've been there, so there's no shame in the game, that you are paying those bills month to month right now, uncomfortably, if those are what you're doing, right? And you don't have to raise your hand. I'm just saying, like, I've been there. And I know a lot of us, probably no one on here can say they haven't been there at some point in their life, right? And I know what that's like. So that's all the more reason that you have got to see those every day because you need to help get those done, okay? Now, for some of you that it's something fun and you don't need those because you do have a full-time job or hubby's got the full-time job and you're doing this and yours are extra, I don't want to dismiss those either because you need to see those fun things that you just want, right? Because there's nothing wrong with it being a trip or, paying something off that just would feel good, whatever it is, okay? And it's okay to take back whatever you've said too. So if you're looking at it and you're like, okay, wait, the consumer's actually already does get paid, right? Okay, some way, shape, or form, and you don't really need it to go towards that, then I want you to dream. Then I want you to start thinking, okay, what could it be for still then? Is there something extra that I would love to do for my kids or for myself or whatever that looks like, okay? So make sure it's truthfully what you're going to do with that money. And it does not have to be anything that anybody else said either, right? So don't feel like because other people were saying it was a trip, it needs to be a trip, or other people were saying it's their bills. Like this is personal to you. Okay, so yeah, someone is saying, Rebecca's saying she's done this before, and it really, really does. So this is homework, you guys. This is your like call to action that has to get done this week, okay? This is non-negotiable. All right, I think that is everything on page 2 of my notes. Well, I'm going to my new notes. Does anybody have any questions up until now? I know I've kind of been rambling, but I don't think it's been a ton of question things yet. You can either put it in the comments or chat, either one. Okay, so homework is to give both myself and your director. So if I'm not your director, some of you obviously have other, you've got Jessica, and I'm not going to name everybody, but Jessica and Tracy and all the directors underneath me, right? I want them to get it too. I want you to be accountable to show both of them. All right, so next up, we're going to start a little bit more about the action and some of the things that you've got to do. And this will get into where Ashley was kind of talking about needing some help and some different things too. So what's going to get you there? Connected contacts. Can't say it enough. 15 connected contacts a week. Most of you have heard me say, but I'll say it again, or 60 a month. Okay. Consistency is key. And you know your schedule. If 15 a week is realistic, 3 a day for 5 days is a realistic, or every 2 weeks getting 30 done is realistic, or busting out 60 at the beginning of the month and then partying and busting out 60 again at the end of the month, right? Like it has to be however you do it to your schedule, right? Like you have to know, am I a nurse and I work, 5 nights, 5 days, 12 hours, and I only have weekends, and then I get 3 more days off, right? Like whatever your schedule is like, you have to know. But 60 a month is non-negotiable. And if you've already got a pretty consistent schedule, then 15 a week is non-negotiable. Connected contacts. There's been a little bit of confusion that I want to clear up that I think we've gotten away from. And that is, first of all, I always like reminding that yes, if they didn't answer you 1 week and they do the next week, they count, okay? Which that word, those 2 words, that means is that you followed up, right? So it's super duper important that you are following up with people. But here's the other thing. I'm going to take this a step further because I don't know that this has always been made super clear, but these connected contacts moving forward for all of you in this game has to be that you asked them to join or party. Now you're going to slide and you're going to do the rest of the things, but those 2 things have to happen. If you are just asking for a sale order this next week and you don't have a conversation with that person about joining your team and the 31% off kits or partying with you, that's not counting. That's not connected contact anymore. Because that's not sliding down the mountain either. That's working harder, right? Okay. So some of you, that's giving you heart palpitations again, right? Because you haven't really been sliding down the mountain. I know. I've been there. I know what it's like to slide down the mountain too. I had to work at it. We all did. And there's even times now I catch myself. Directors, I'm sure, will say the same thing, that we get done with the conversation. We go, oh, that wasn't how I was supposed to do that. And you guys know I preach it and preach it and preach it. Okay, so I know you're guilty if we're all shaking our heads that we're guilty too. Okay, so those are your new goals. Those 2 questions have to happen or they don't count as connected contacts. Okay, doesn't mean the other questions aren't important. Doesn't mean you don't just keep sliding when they tell you no thank you right now and it's a hard no and all the things, right? And it still becomes a connected contact and all of that good stuff. But I want you to make sure that you're doing those things. Okay, I'm going to back up again. You want the dream board to be what you would do with the 2,000 bonus or what you would want out of the business. I want both. I want your dream board to have, basically this is your dream board for everything we're doing until March 31st, and you can revisit again. So this is you making an extra $1,000 a month and that $2,000 bonus. For directors already, like Shannon and Tracy and Jessica, yours you got to think a little bit harder. You get more than $2,000 bonus. So you guys know what are the bonuses you're looking for. So like Shannon and Tracy and Jessica and Gresha, you all are looking for $8,000 bonuses. I'm pretty sure when it's all said and done, you're trying to move up to SD, get a couple directors underneath you, and you're all making whatever you're making a month, add a couple $100 to it. Because you're going to push harder, right? Because you're helping ladies underneath you. So what's a couple $100 more going to be a month in comparison to what you're already getting as a leader? And then that $8,000 bonus. Jessica is saying, get comfortable being uncomfortable. She used to say it all the time. Danielle told me that when I first started, and it has worked wonders. Yes, yes, yes. Best method for connected contacts. Feel like Messenger not working anymore first. So that connected contacts is going to be a generation thing. So Kim, if you are working with boomers and above, sometimes it's not Messenger. Sometimes they are still emailing. Sometimes it is texting. It's really going to depend on however you normally message them. It's going to depend on if they came from the Facebook party. Most of the time, if they came from the Facebook party and that's where you're getting the connected contacts, hopefully by now you all see the power in. There's a lot of different ways in your party that they should be messaging you first, and or you're telling them you're messaging because you're doing those 4 questions or those 5 questions and you're doing the poll and you're telling them to message you, right, to win. So if you're not doing those things, that's a conversation to definitely put down in your notes that you need to have with me or your director, and we need to help you because you really should be messaging everyone from the party. So I want to say, like, my gut reaction wants to say Messenger, right? But I don't want to dismiss, Kim, that yes, sometimes it doesn't work. And sometimes when I send out a text and I start doing my follow-ups with your order has shipped. How do you like your order? You know, the 7 days later, how's your order? Is everything okay? I find the answer in text where they did in Messenger, right? And then, like I said, boomers sometimes will do emails. I don't do emails. Like, I hate emails. When you email me something, honestly, I'm annoyed. And I'm like, can we take this to text? Can we take this to Messenger? Because I don't check it enough. I don't get the notifications because Lord knows that would be blowing up because we all get too much junk email. So I don't personally get the notifications from my emails, but everybody's different. So I don't want to dismiss all of them, but ideally Messenger is where it should be from your party. Okay. Any other questions so far? I think that's everything I see in the chat. Okay. So 15 connected contacts. Go do the training in Danielle's training playground. I don't remember for sure, but I want to say it's guide 8, but don't quote me. That's a really quick training. That's not one with a lot of videos or anything like that. And it's just gonna give you some ideas there too. Okay, here's the other stretch for some of you. 8 parties a month, non-negotiable. You're closing 6. Okay, this is what they do for Accelerate. Those of you that have heard about Accelerate, and it works, and it's uncomfortable, and for some of you, it's a stretch. But it will get you that $2,000. I promise you. If you are pushing for 8 and you are closing 6, it's going to get you at least 2,000. And I want you to just keep pushing and pushing. And I know it's hard right now. January and February are 2 of the hardest months every year. And if you weren't planning for them in October or November, like I did warn some of you, but some of you have joined since, and some of you have just decided to be back in your business because Christmas time was too crazy. Like, I get it. It's hard right now to get January and February going. It is. There's no dismissing it. Make sure that you are doing the event that we just did. Make sure you have watched by that event, I mean Team Party Week, that is this week. And make sure that you have watched every single video because Tracy has done a live video. Shannon has done a live video. Jessica has done some posts. Gresha has done some posts. I've done lots of posts. And if you go to that event, you're going to see all the posts and you're going to see even where to go to on the team page because there's a hashtag that you're going to want to go to, but don't feel that you have to memorize that. Start there. If you're at a loss and people aren't answering you and you're not getting connected contacts. If you've done all of that and you can promise me you've watched all those videos and you've been doing your 15 connected contacts a week and you're still having trouble, please, please, please message me. I'm gonna dig deeper. We're gonna have some conversations and I'm gonna try to help you and see what we can't do to get some stuff on your calendar. Okay. But if you haven't done that event, don't tell me that you don't have contacts yet, right? I want you to go do that because hopefully that's gonna give you some ideas of some things to try. All right, nothing else in Messenger. Okay. So the importance of not only 8 parties, but Facebook parties especially too. I should have made that clear too. I'm not going to dismiss catalog parties and someone just taking a link because that can be great, but unfortunately you don't get to get in front of those people and you need to be in front of these parties, in front of these people. Having an average of 6 parties closed with 10 people at each party puts you in front of 60 guests. Boom, 60 connected contacts for the month, right? Now I know that most of the parties are going to have more than 10 people in them. Well, let's be honest, 10 is pretty average that ordered, participated in the party, and talked to you, right? it's pretty rare, and it does happen. I know Jessica's knocked it out of the park, where there's been times where she's like, holy cow, I got 50 connected contacts from one stinking hostess, right? Like, it does happen, but I want you to be realistic, knowing that 10 is a pretty dang good number. If you can get each hostess to have at least 10 orders, 10 people or 10 people participating or 10 people that you can actually contact, that's a pretty good number. Okay. And that is going to get you asking 60 people to join your team and to party. And then there's all those stats that go with that, right? 1 in 4 are going to say yes, and 1 in 10 are going to say yes to the party, and so on and so forth, and so on and so forth. Okay. So one other little thing I want you to think about that I think gets lost, because for so many of you, this is your side gig, which is great, right? Like, majority of you, it's not your full-time job like me. You don't even plan on it being your full-time job, and that's okay. But the key word there still is that it is a job. And sometimes it's hard to treat it like a job. So I have a mindset that I had to tell myself forever ago when this was just first becoming my job, let alone if it was a side gig. Okay. I pretend sometimes like there is a boss that's telling me things, right? That has rules for me. There isn't. So we have to pretend, right? And that can have my face on it because I'm the one blah, blah, blah at you right now. It can have some fictitious idea of who a CEO is. I mean, I don't care if it's like Mark Zuckerberg. I don't care who it is, but there is a boss who is telling you some of these things. And that boss is telling you things like, those 15 connected contacts are non-negotiable. Those 8 parties are non-negotiable. Those 2 recruits are non-negotiable. You're going to lose your job. Because those are pretty realistic ideals if this were your job, right? Like, I mean, honestly, if this were your job, those are pretty realistic that they could be like, they might give you like a 1 month, like slap on the hand, right? 2nd month, oh, nope, you're out, right? Okay, so I want you to think of that. And with that, it is your job to ask them to join your team and to party. Those are the 2 most important things. And your stomach hurts often doing it. And you tell yourself all kinds of things why she's not going to join your team. Block all those voices out, right? So you've got a CEO over here, Mark Zuckerberg or me or whoever it is. And then you've got this ugly devil person, which is probably just an ugly version of you telling you can't do all these things, right? The devil, whoever you want it to be. But honestly, it's really just an ugly version of you, if I'm being super honest, right? It's you. It's you telling yourself you can't do these things. Okay. All right. Flipping it over. We're doing good. What are we doing on time? We're doing good. Okay. So how are you looking for January with those stats? Be honest. It's the 23rd. We've been on vacations. We've had COVID. We've had all kinds of stuff, right? Tell me in the chat. Here's your moment of accountability. How many parties have you had and or have coming this month still? How many connected contacts do you have? How many recruits? And I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of you that are zeros. I'm setting you up right now. There's a lot of you that are 0. So don't be ashamed. Just know it's what you got to work with. Here we go. Gresha, first one. Awful. Pushing for the sale tomorrow. What's awful, Gresha? Who else? What else we got? Tell me your numbers, you guys. Be accountable. So while you guys are doing that, Maria's 0, but she's hitting it hard again. Good. While you guys are telling me those in the chat, I want you to also think about so I know Ashley's been asking for some verbiage, so I have some other of you, and some of you are just saying awful. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to your VIP groups. And if you haven't already done this, and I don't think any of you have, except for Tammy who's not on here, Tammy Brinker, and then obviously your directors, I want you to start telling people that you want more from your business, that you are taking this seriously. And with that, you are looking for people who would also like a side gig to join you and who would love to party with you. And I challenge you to go live telling your story, how long you've been doing this already, why you're still doing it, why you're loving it, why you want leadership, and that you're just at the beginning steps of it. Most of you, some of you, it's different. Some of you have been trying it for a couple of months, but majority of you, you're just really taking that leap of faith. Now we've been doing trainings and we've been doing things, and I don't think you've declared this. So to them, it's new. And you may be surprised how many people will help you. So that's going to be your live. That's going to be your messaging. That's going to be what you do when you message people as well. You're going to tell a very short story, right? It's not going to be word vomit, but it's going to be, I have been doing 31 for X amount of months or years, and I have seen growth already in my business, or I'm ready to grow my business, and I'm really getting serious. And you guys, and not you guys, but there's a $2,000 bonus on the line for me that I can't believe I could even be going for. If I told you what February's hostess benefits would be, would you be interested in having a party? If I told you that there was 31% off all the kits right now, would you like to just hear more information, right? So use that if I, blah, 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 would you, after you tell your story a little bit. Okay, so Kim is saying that you've done that in your VIP. Amazing, Kim. So you've already told them that you want leadership, or you've told them just your story? I think she's trying to unmute.
I've told them both, actually, and that I'm really working towards expanding, growing. I would love to grow a team and develop a team. And that's what I kind of do in my permanent job anyways.
Yep.
So it's like, I want to help others, get some success for themselves, whether it's, for what I joined, or, to pay the bills or whatever. I've done that. And I've had, a couple people that have kind of nibbled. And so I'm still working on it, but, I don't think it hurts to do that every couple months, or, something like that, just to reaffirm that, hey, I'm still here. I'm still pushing, I'm still going, that type of thing. So
Absolutely.
I'm willing to try it again.
Yep. And your story has changed a little bit. So even though you've done it before, like you said, I mean, your story has changed a little bit since the last time probably that you've said it. So yes, and you'll find it gets easier and easier is the thing too. So Kim is absolutely right. Like doing it over and over again is so key, especially if you're someone consistent like Tracy, who goes live every week, right? Like she's got to drop those seeds constantly. Why she's doing what she's doing. Okay, some of you are still putting in your stats. So I'm going to go back and kind of look at those too. I've had 2 sales, but nothing much. I need parties, so at 0. Yep, a lot of you are at 0. Done my contacts, but not as many. Make sure you're getting them all in. See, the clock is ticking, right? It's time for 60, you guys. It's time, honestly, to get your 60 done. Like if you've not been doing them, then that's your non-negotiable this week. You've got to get 60 in. Mackenzie's got all hers in. Woo woo. And Mackenzie, you are not sharing. You can brag, because unlike a lot of us with the zeros, Mackenzie, I want you to brag. She has all of her connected contacts in. She just busted them out. I want you to tell how many parties you just got and how many recruits you just got, because you're not at 0. Heather's saying I did that in my last party, telling them I'd like to do this full time. Perfect. Do it in every single party that you guys have. Do it in your VIP groups, you guys. And honestly, right now, do it every week through the end of March, because you are trying something. You get them rallying around the idea of what you're doing. They're going to want to help you. Do a countdown. I've won 8 parties and I've got 3 already this week, right? And next week you tell them again, I still won 8 and now I've got 6. I'm so close to that goal, right? Rally them around your goals, whatever they are. Do old school like a teacher would, and have stars behind you on a board, right, with their names on it, because they're your party, they're your new recruit, whatever they are, right? Or do the wheel if you have to. Do something fun. Kristen, she's got 4 parties and having trouble getting the orders. I'm at 880 and 60 connect contacts. Sounds like you're doing good. Just got to get the hostesses moving, it sounds like. And wouldn't it be great if you had the 8 parties, right? So like double that there's that 2,000 we're talking about. Like there's a perfect example almost, right? Like she's still trying to get orders. She's at 880 with 4 parties. That means she's almost at that 1,000. Double that with her 8 parties and she would be hitting that 2,000 we talked about. Mackenzie, 5 parties in a matter of about 30 minutes after about 200 messages and 1 recruit. Okay, but she did it. 200 messages. She got those connected contacts in. She had also been telling me prior to this, she wasn't getting anything. Okay. So it is possible. Yes. Way to go, Mackenzie. Her new recruit is like killing it. Her new recruit's already qualified. We're pretty sure she's putting in her own money, but she's having a home launch party and a Facebook launch party, and she's buying all the bags. So super, super exciting. Okay. It's not too late for parties this week. Keep them shorter if you have to. Do a one-nighter if you have to. Keep it a couple-day party. Cross it over January and February if you must. But it's truly not too late, you guys. There is still tonight and 7 more days to get those connected contacts in and bust a party out this next weekend or starting Thursday. You get hostesses that are fired up, you can get them going in a day or 2. You really can. Reminder that we have an opportunity event tonight. If you don't have anybody in there, perfect time when you get off this call to bust out some connected contacts. See if you can't get at least 1 person in that event tonight. It's at 8:31 Eastern. We will be having one again. Probably, what is today? Today's the 23rd. Probably not this month, probably the very beginning of February. Stay tuned and I'll tell you something at the end of this call. How about that? About opportunities. If you're on at the end, directors know what it is already, but something that's getting extended. It's gonna be a you heard it here first. You don't know it. You don't know it yet. Little thing, a little smidgen I'll give you at the end. Okay. I already talked about earning in February versus March. Did that already. Hang on one second. Can't read my handwriting on this one. Hostess Coaching. This is a note again that you want to star or highlight. If you did not do Shoot for the Moon already, and you did not get through my Hostess Coaching, and specifically where the homework was for you to make your own Hostess Coaching, and that is with voice recordings and or videos, changing the wording if you feel like it. But at the end of the day, you have a document that you are using or some type of file or some type of system, whether you use Trello or whatever it is, but you have a system of Hostess Coaching based off what you learned from mine, or if you want to be a cookie cutter, I don't care. It doesn't matter either way. If you don't have that, highlight that big that you've got to get with me after this call as well. And we've got to talk all things Hostess Coaching. Okay, because I want to get everybody up to par, because if you didn't do Shoot for the Moon already, that wasn't part of your homework. A lot of you, I think, have that done already. If you skipped it and you did Shoot for the Moon and you're like, oh, I never did those voice recordings still, or I didn't do my videos yet, get them done ASAP. Because I can't, Shannon, I can't tell you enough how much it helps her know you. And that's how you're going to get more recruits. And that's how you're going to get her to care to help book 3 parties. Because she likes you. Not only is she getting a prize, but she's like, oh, I want to help this person. I really like her. She's fun. She's nice. She's helpful, right? She or they have to know you. So super important. Mackenzie is saying, yes, it's the bomb. Look at her. She's going. Look at her cranking out those parties. Maria, don't put it here because I won't remember. Message me afterwards, okay? Because I'm not taking any notes right now. And y'all know I have the attention span of a fruit fly. And I keep saying y'all. That is like the 3rd or 4th time I've said it. I'm around too many Southerners now. All my accountability partners in our upline, they're all Southern. And I'm like, y'all. But I will forget. So message me in Messenger. Okay. Marco, if you are not Marco Poloing me, which a lot of you are already, but if you're not, write down my phone number and get the Marco Polo app and Marco Polo me ASAP. My number is, and this is my phone number. This is my real phone number. So when I text you, sometimes you're getting it from an app that a lot of us use called Project Broadcast. It's a different phone number. I don't even know that phone number. Okay. You can text me there, but don't call me there because you're not going to get me. And don't Marco me there because it's not going to work either. My phone number when you want to reach me personally is 989-277-3252. And if you have already marked with me before, mark for me now. Like, just let's get going. Let's get accountable. Let's talk goals. Let's just check in, right? Like, it's a great way. For those of you who don't know Marco Polo, it's voice recordings back and forth, and it's on our own time. So you can do it while you're waiting in line to pick up the kids. And I can do it while I'm walking in the backyard. And you can do it when you're, you know, kids have all went to sleep at night and you're just chilling, drinking a cup of tea or whatever it is. Okay. Yes. A lot of you love Marco. It's such a great way. And some of us just, that's how we work. Some of us like me, we're verbal processors too. So it's how I can help you. It's a great way for me to be able to coach you. And I mean all of you. So it doesn't matter if you're under Russia or Rebecca or who you're under. It doesn't matter who your leader is, who your sponsor is. I'm here to help you. So is your leader. Don't forget to Marco them too. They can give you their phone number later too, because they want to hear from you. But I'm also here, especially because you know it's my full-time job and I have a little more time than some of them do too. And Grusha's saying, yeah, it's that Texas accent. Absolutely. Okay. So I have one last little thing I want to talk about, but before I do, I want to talk about our calls to action. So Marco Polo is a call to action. Dream Board is a call to action. Getting those 60 connected contacts in this week is a call to action. Doing every single thing in that event, the Team Party Week event that we have, is a call to action. I think those were it. Tonight's opportunity event, call to action if you can. I think that was it. Those are your calls to action. Here's the last thing I want to talk about, and then I'm going to open it up for some Q&A still. And that's the word failure. The word failure is literally whatever you define it as. Write that down. The word failure is literally what you are defining it as. And sometimes you are telling yourself that you failed for reasons that to most outsiders or even are important are not really a fail. And here's what I mean by that. Here's an example. Here's how I feel about it. And again, this is my opinion, and you may listen to this and think differently, okay? But here's an example of what I think a lot of you don't think about as failure. To me, I think failure for your month is if you don't do 60 connected contacts. Because to me, that means you just didn't work your business. I don't think failure is if you had 60 connected contacts and you ended up with 5 parties. Did you maybe need to double up and push harder? Yes, but you did 60 connected contacts. I do think failure is if you only did 30 connected contacts and you only had 5 parties because you didn't put the work in. These are all just examples, but sometimes you all do all or nothing. You all just look at the party factor and go, I can't hit 8, I didn't hit 8, I'm gonna fail, I did fail. But you don't look at the big picture of the work. Same with recruits. I could slide them in there exactly the same. If you did 60 connected contacts and you literally asked all 60, because remember, there's another call to action. Your connected contacts now must be that you asked them to join and party. If you asked all 60 contacts to join your team and you didn't get 2, I don't think that's a failure. Again, if you're going to make it non-negotiable, then you got to do more than 60 connected contacts. You've got to know that 60 isn't what, if I get to 60, especially if it's January 15th, January 23rd, even right now, I've already got my 60 connected contacts and I don't have 2 recruits. Why are you done? Right? You also got to own up that those are just numbers and I got to keep pushing until I get them. Failure is also not, I didn't hit director by the end of March 31st. Failure to me is March 31st. I had a total of 60 connected contacts in 3 months. I had a total of 8 parties in 3 months. Do you see the difference? What failure to me is not March 31st. I had 180 contacts done. I had 6 parties every month pushed in, right? Do you see the difference? and what some of you put value as failure. And there's so many other things that we could go into with failure. But 9 times out of 10, it's back to that ugly person on your shoulder of yourself telling you what failure is. And so you aren't even going to go for it. You just listen to all this and you're like, yeah, that sounds good. And I know that Mackenzie booked some parties. And I know that Tracy and Jessica, that they're directors. Yeah, but things just played out better for them. She did talk about those cards. She did talk about luck of the cards and luck of the draw. And they're just lucky and I'm not. Right? I'm probably just going to fail at this. I'm just going to. Because you're going to. If you tell yourself you can't, you can't. It's literally that simple. And I know it's so cliche, but it's so, so, so true. If you are still butterflies in your stomach an hour into this call and still telling yourself you can't, then this isn't for you. And that's okay. You're not in the place yet. You're not there. And that's okay too. Be honest. Tell me afterwards. Tell your director afterwards. No, that's just too much. I can't do any of that. Or I can't do this part of it. Right? And if you truly believe it, or there really is an obstacle in the way because you're like, I work 70 hours a week already and I take kids, like, I get it. You can't. You really can't. Right? But for majority of you, I do know your stories, pretty much most of you on this call. And you've either wanted this before and you're back, or you've dabbled in it before and you're back, or you're brand new. And I know you can because you've already been putting in the work and you showed up for this hour SOS call, right? But only you can decide. It's back to the very beginning that I talked about. I can give you all the trainings in the world. I can give you all the pep talks in the world. I can tell you you're beautiful and smart and amazing and all the things. And that ugly person still may be on your shoulder telling you that you can't, right? So I want you, for one last thing, and you don't have to, this doesn't have to come to me, but I really want you to take a few minutes when you get off of here, if you can, if you've got kids at your ankles right now or something, but sometime before you go to bed tonight, I want you to just sit with your journal and I want you to reflect and write, what does failure mean to you? And it might not just be 31. And there might be tears, I've done this one, and there might be tears rolling and all kinds of things. Like, where does that word come from? Where did you first feel you ever failed in life? Who told you first that you were a failure? Right? Like some of those get really deep, but I'm telling you, they're connected. They're all connected. Like I'm actually sick to the stomach right now because I think about mine. Yeah, I know, me too. Okay. And I'm really not trying to get that emotional, but at the same time, like I want you to understand those are where those things come from. And I guarantee for most of us, it's way back. We were little when it started. Somewhere, someone, some shape or form has done it to you, all of us. And it's just human nature. I mean, I could get biblical on it now too, if I want, right? Like there are so many failures in the Bible, you guys, like so many. That's why Jesus came back. That's why Noah had to go in the ark. I mean, we could go on and on with the stories, right? Like so many. And it's okay. And if you have to like rip that paper up and burn it and do it away, throw it away and flush it down the toilet and whatever you need to do when it's all done. But I want you to really reflect on what failure even looks like for you. And I want you to dream big and have those big ass goals. And I want you to be okay that as long, for me, my goal was shoot for the moon and land in the stars. As long as you put the work in by March 31st, be happy with that. We hope to goodness gracious it means you're getting a double bonus. But if it's not, you're going to get that regular bonus soon after. You're going to be working towards that trip. You're going to be getting those goals. I know you are. And we're going to push hard for those. But I don't want you to also feel like you failed because you didn't hit it by February 28th for the first goal. And you didn't hit it by March 28th. As long as you know you put in the work. That's how I sleep at night. When people ask, like, how did you get your big dream, your big goals? You guys, while I hit PAC and I did all the things that I've done this last year, my goals were bigger than that. I didn't hit my goals. And I know it sounds silly and I know they're up here, but I wanted 200,000. I got 190. Can I cry about that? I mean, seriously, is that to you, the way some of you are treating yourself, that's a failure. You didn't hit your goal. I didn't hit my goal, right? I should be a failure. Right? And look at you joking. Like, you can laugh. You can laugh at that. That's stupid. I cannot be mad about 190, but for some of you, that's what you're doing. If your goal was 2,000 and you hit 1,900, it's the same damn thing as my 190, right? When you do the percentage, when you do the math, okay? But that's how I get those big goals, is I hit them high. And I am okay with not hitting them, because I know landing a little bit lower is going to be what I want still. It's going to be amazing. And especially if I know I put the work in. Now, vice versa. Do you all know how long I've wanted SED? And I said, you all, did you hear it? I did it right that time. Do you know how long I've wanted SED? And do you know how many, it's like literally 7 or 8 years. And do you know how many years I've gotten done? And I've had to be honest with myself. I didn't put the work in. I could cry all I want that, oh, I just didn't get the directors that wanted to hit. I just didn't do the things. I didn't say the right things. I didn't do the trainings. Bullshit. Those of you that know me know I've been doing these trainings for years. But I didn't build the relationships with the people that I needed to do. I didn't continue to build the relationships. When those people decided they didn't want to be directors, I didn't work hard to find more that wanted directors. I boo-hooed about it for another 5 or 6 months and then started the cycle back over again, right? So I also have to just have ownership that I didn't put the work in. That's like my connected contacts, right? Me getting new directors is like your connected contacts. That's how you can look at it right now. I have to be honest and know I didn't do that work. So that's a little bit of a failure, but I can own up to that. But when I know that I've done everything I can at the end of the year, last year was one of them. I hit ED still, and I knew I did all the things that I wanted to do, and it wasn't SED, but it was ED. Like, I was proud because I knew I did everything I could do. Didn't hit the goal, didn't hit the SED goal, but hit the ED goal. All right, I could go on and on forever, but I hope that makes sense. I hope you can see why I say to dream big. I hope that you understand a little bit of it. And I know it's not how a lot of your brains are wired. I get it. A lot of you are not wired to do big, big, big. You've done safe your whole life, and then you hit those goals, and then you're super duper comfortable. I actually am asking you to do something where you might not hit your goals. There's like, sometimes in 31, we talk about rock star, super, and I don't even know what the other one is, right? But like, you're pushing for rock star, and you're okay if you do super. Okay, questions. We're at a little over an hour, a little more than I wanted to do, but hopefully that helped. Hopefully that was a good SOS call. Hopefully you're ready to get moving. I know a lot of you, it means booking parties, get that event going. And if you've done all that, then let's chat soon. More questions though. Ashley, I see you pop. Oh, we got some pictures too. Ashley, I see you popping on. Do you have a question? You're muted. Yep, there she goes.
My thing is, I don't know how to just approach people or anything like out and about. I've gone through all my contacts and have tried to reach out, and they're all like, no, or just ghost me. And at times I get discouraged and stuff, but then I know that I have great people to help back me and push me and to get back out there and do it. My thing, a lot of it is wording, like my wording. I'm not very good with it. And you already know that because I am.
So out and about, because I know you're seeing a lot of people. I know you're at the wrestling tournaments and all the things, right?
Yeah.
Out and about, make sure you're carrying your stuff.
I do all the time.
Yep. It's really the biggest thing I can give, and I know because you're just like me, and we blah 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 blah, and we're verbal processors, and we love to talk, and it's hard for me too. But what you need to remember to do is to ask questions and sit back and let them talk. So just have conversations. Keep it simple about 31. Let them do the talking and ask questions like, "What do you love about 31?" And
but how do you start those combos?
So is it with strangers or is it with people? Like, is it with someone that you're just like sitting at the wrestling tournament and you see that there's a bag, or is it people on your team that you kind of know, but you just don't really talk to? Give me an example.
Both in a way, like,
yep. So
like,
if it's,
I just don't know.
If it's someone who had a bag, so this is my number one question when someone has item already, ladies. I ask them, I say, oh my gosh, I love your bag. Do you sell? Because that's going to give you the advantage right there that you need. If she already sells, right? Then you know, like, you're not wasting your breath. And most of the time they're like, oh, no, 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 right? Like that becomes like, oh, no, 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 but I love it. And I have blah, 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 blah. And they'll start talking. They will start telling you, they don't sell most of the time. Sometimes they do, but most of the time they don't. But instead of selling, they get into this, oh, but let me tell you what I know. Let me tell you what I have. And they will start talking. So that's my cold call. Like if you see a bag, like that's my Aldi's. That's my Aldi's go-to when I'm carrying. That's my grocery store line, right? Pickup line, basically. When it's people that you kind of know, and it's someone on the team, basically that sort of thing. That's where the butterflies go, right? Because now you kind of know this person. These are actually harder for me. I can actually do that cold call one because I just am going to get to meet you now. We're just going to start talking. I don't know anything about you, right? But now I actually do know your name. Your kid's name at least is Bobby, right? And I know that he invited my son Jack to a birthday party and we couldn't go and, you know, whatever, right? Like you've got some type of story, right? Like he's the best swimmer. He's the kid that he's actually the worst swimmer. He's the worst, right? Like there's something that you know about him, but not enough. That one, to be honest, if it's someone that you're going to see repetitively, especially, you got to just build relationships with those people, and it's going to happen. It's going to come into conversation. That one you can't think 31. That one instead you've got to think long term, and you've got to think relationship. You got to just think, I'm just going to go sit myself by someone new today, and I'm just going to go start talking, basically. And then eventually you're going to talk about what you do for a living and make sure you add in that it's not just your normal job, right? You're going to add in your side gig. You're going to find those ways to kind of add those types of things in, if that makes a little bit more sense. Those ones, because that one is especially, and I'm thinking for Ashley in particular, because I know her and I know she's going to all the wrestling meets and all the sports things, right? And she volunteers just like Jessica, both of them. That one is where my biggest suggestion for those of you that go to those types of things, don't sit by the same people every single time. Keep meeting new people. And it's so hard because we're creatures of habit, right? And not to mention, they just become our close friends, you know, and you might have to even be honest with them. You might have to tell the people that you normally sit with, you might have to just say, look, I promise I'm not trying to be salesy. I promise I'm not trying to be gross to you, but I do have a side gig and I need to grow relationships. And so I'm going to go sit by these other people because I just want to get to know them and I want to build my circle. And right. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you might just need to do a little bit of both. You might need to sit by them and then you might need to go sit by the other people, right? You might have to play around. But that is my number one advice. And I don't go anywhere anymore. But that was one of the things that I used to have to do, right? Is sit someplace else when you go to the sporting events. Rebecca's saying, yeah, go ahead.
Do you carry business cards on you and just like when you're talking to everyone, you hand them out?
So
what does everyone do?
Yep. So that's changed a lot through the years too. So I personally never did business cards. I've always done mini catalogs because it's going to show our product more, especially if they're not familiar. And you will be surprised how many people aren't actually familiar, and or it's going to show them what's new. So even if they're familiar, they more than likely haven't seen the new catalog, and it's going to give them a little sneak peek. And then your information is on the back. But the even bigger thing right now are the QR codes. Everybody's doing that. Like when we've been selling the little fobs, they've been doing a QR code on it. The biggest thing is because you want to capture their information too. So giving them something without getting their phone number is not going to get you anything. Get your app out and put their contact information right in your app. Get your notes out and grab their information. Sometimes I just ask even, are you on Facebook? Most people will say yes. What's your full name on Facebook? Do you mind if I find you real quick and we can become friends on there and I can add you to my VIP group, right? So real quick, I just try to find them on Facebook. Then I had to do one simple step. Then she's going to see even more of you once you're friends, right? She's going to see your post. She's going to learn about you. I mean, let's be honest, right? When you become friends with someone, how many of you go scroll? You go look at their about information real quick and you scroll, right? So make sure it's good. Make sure you're not talking any blah, blah on your Facebook. All the more reason you guys have to be personal, right? But that's my go-to when I'm out and about. A lot of times is Facebook. I just say I have a VIP group that's really fun. It's where you're going to stay up to date. Are you on Facebook? And get their full name and do it right then if you can, because sometimes otherwise it's hard to find them, right?
Well, I have 93 93 people on my VIP page. And I go live, I do things, I do my posts, and barely anyone responds. No one has purchased. Like, what am I doing wrong?
You're not. It's a numbers game. And 93 is amazing for me, knowing when you started that you've only been doing this for a few months. But in the big scheme of things, you've got to know that you're probably going to it's going to teeter anywhere between 1 to 5% will participate. So when you only have 91 people in your group, that's 1 to 5 people. So when you are in a group like mine and you see the participation higher, you have to know I have over 1,600 in there. So that means realistically, I should have like 16, if I'm using those stats, like quick math, 16 to 45 people participating. And I don't have that unless I do a giveaway. So I really don't have those stats either, right? Like on a daily basis. And that's why there's got to be ebb and flow in your customer group. You've got to keep it consistent that you're doing something every day, you guys. It's engaging. But you have to know, like, if you really want something. So for me, recruiting is my game over the next couple of weeks, okay? So before I even begin to start doing anything, I've got to play some games in there. I've got to go in and I've got to do some giveaways, and I've got to do some of those ones. Gresha just posted one in the event that I've been talking about. Even one of the ones that's obnoxiously annoying that they comment on so much because they're playing some word scramble game or something that you're like, oh my God, your notifications are blowing up, right? But you've got to know that you're going to do that and you're going to do that and that for a few days, and then you're going to go live, and then you're going to do something the next day, and then you've got to be okay that for like if you don't keep that going, it doesn't keep going either. And it's exhausting. You can't do that all the time. You're not going to get enough even from your customer group doing that. That's where instead it's the messages, it's the connected contacts. And my tip for those of you that have less than 100 or even less than a couple hundred, my tip for you that I would do as your giveaways and as one of your things, it would be a grow your group challenge. It would be giving it to them that you need more people in this group. And going live and talking about, I don't want you just adding them. I don't want it being tacky, but for every person you get in here and you comment, you tag them below, I'm going to do a giveaway for every 10 people that get added or something like that. So call it grow the group even. Let them know, I want to double this number. Or I want to hit 150 or I want to hit 100 first or whatever that goal is, right? But it's work. You've got to treat it just like you would a party. You've got to have posts that are really, really engaging. You've got to go live and you've got to do some giveaways. Otherwise, you've got to just bless and release your group and just keep it consistent and have posts in there, very frequently, but know that it's really more for messaging. And
so when you say grow your group, do you post the, how you share your link and whatnot? Do you post that in there so that they can share it?
yeah, you should,
so that they're not just
Yes.
inviting?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. You want to give them clear instructions just like that so that they know that they're sharing the link on their personal profile and they can tag you in it maybe, right? Like tag me in it for an extra entry. Like you can give them other little tasks like that. You got the absolute right idea. Yep. And just know though too that so when you do a big event like that, you got to send an email out from your back office too. Get them trying to go there. You've got to send some private messages to the people who have been participating. And you've got to say to them, hey, thank you for participating so far in my customer group. I'm doing this really big giveaway and I'm trying to grow my group. Can I get you to to really participate over the next 3 or 4 days that I'm doing this? If so, I'm going to give you double entries, right? And you message them that privately. You've got to get really creative to really get them going.
Well, I just seen Gresha post something about gift certificates and stuff like that. I've done that in my parties and, the dice game and everything. I gave them the gift certificate number because that's what they want. They seemed like they were ordering. They asked for the gift certificate numbers, but they never even ordered. So what do I do with these gift certificates that I've already given them? I still have them sitting in my office unused. So
how long has it been? Has it been a while?
A month. One of them was maybe 2 months ago.
I would give them, if you've given them one more warning, then they're up for grabs. You can give them to somebody else. If you haven't warned them, I would give them one more little reminder. But if they ghost you and or they don't use it, absolutely, I would just use it.
Just basically tell them or say, hey, you won this, blah, blah, blah. The gift certificate is ending on such and such date.
Yes, give it an
and leaving
expiration
it at
date.
that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Because I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, man, they played the game, they won, they had talked to me saying that basically that they were ordering, and sorry, it's loud in my background, you guys. And that they were whatever. So I provided it to them, and then they ghosted it, and I'm thinking,
and you're like, it's free. I know people are weird.
Yeah, and I'm going,
whoever
doesn't
the
like
iPhone
free
is.
things?
I think we lost whoever the iPhone was, but it's a really good tip. And that is give a compliment. Yes. So back to when we were talking about like in person, give a compliment. You're always talking if someone gives a compliment first. Absolutely. So if they don't have a bag to compliment on, because ideally we're complimenting their bag, right? But if they don't have a bag, just give them a compliment because yes, women are going to, right. We're going to swoon at that. And then Rebecca said she's been taking her bags grocery shopping, and people do ask. Absolutely. You need to get business cards with a QR code. Yes, the QR code can be really, really helpful. Make sure it's sending them either to your Facebook customer group or a survey is my best advice. I know a lot of you want to say link, okay, but you want it to be a call to action that's actually helping you get to know them as well. So if you send it right to their survey, then they're going to get the link eventually from you. If they send it to the customer group, then you're going to see their friend request. You're going to do all the Facebook things that you need to do. Those are just my two little things there. Maria was saying she had the same problem. I need to grow my group. I have 55 people. Yeah, I'm going to be super duper honest, you guys. I don't really want you to put a lot of effort into your customer groups. Okay. Grow the group is about the only thing I would really like. If you want to try to do something because you want to get outside of your circle, growing your group is a really good idea. But I'm telling you, if you have 55 people in there, I'm going to imagine those 55 people were also from your launch party and your first party, and you've already been asking them to do things. And that's why they're not participating. Okay. Because they've already done all of the things. So we've got to get those customer groups bigger. We do. And the number one way is to keep partying and making sure the people in the party get to your customer group. But I don't want you to spend a lot of time there. I want you to keep working those connected contacts. And if you're stuck on where to get to your connected contacts and you've done all the things, that's where you're going to message me. We're going to have some conversations, and I'm going to get you in some vendor events and some fundraisers and some other things that we're going to talk about. Gresh is talking about gift certificate. Yeah, she's done a gift certificate in her VIP group. I entered the person who brought a guest and the guest. I told them I wanted to hit a certain number. Yep. So for her, it was 200. She wanted to hit 200, right? So that's absolutely, I don't think I would do just 100 for you, Ashley, because you're so close to it. I would do 131 or something, right? That stretches a little bit more so that you really get in there, right? Like it's always fun if you can add that 31 in there. And yes, gift certificates are still good. If the person comes back and asks, yeah, just that's another point Gresha's making. Like if they come back, if you used it, just give them a new one. Like you can always go get a new one too. Use it up. Gresha's absolutely right there. Any other questions? I lost my last note, but that's it. Okay. Lots of calls to action, lots of stuff to think about. I hope that you guys benefited. I hope you're ready. I would like to do this same time, I think, every Sunday, because this seems to be working for the majority. I know there's a couple sports people, sports moms and things that may have to catch the replay. I really want to meet in person, but I don't think it's realistic it's not for some of you at all. And even for those of us that are local, I think we're just going to keep struggling. So we're going to keep trying here and there, but I think consistently, I really would like to do this. I would like to say right now, let's shoot through the end of February for sure, every Sunday. Let's revisit it then if we think we want to do every week in March or we want to start going bi-weekly. But I think right now you really need to be held accountable, right? Like you need to, Shannon's reminding me there's a secret. I almost forgot. You need to be prepared every Sunday that you're going to have to tell me how many, you're going to have to tell the group, right? In the comments, what are your connected contacts? What do your parties look like? What does this look like, right? And you need to be ready for that. So you need to be accountable. The secret Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so 2 parts. So they are extending the 31% off. So, you know, I think you've all seen by now that they have extended it through January 31st. As leaders, though, we were all kind of like, wah, because February 1st starts the trip. So they have listened and they are actually extending the 31% off through, I believe, February 15th. Does that sound right for the date, ladies? Tracy and Shannon, do you guys remember? I don't know, but it's through February. You did not, I will deny it. I will say I was drunk right now while we had this Zoom because I'm not supposed to tell you, but it's amazing for the trip. Now that does not mean that if you get someone tonight who wants to sign up, that you're not going to take her still, because you've got to grow your team, right? Like you've got to do it. But it means these connected contacts and these conversations that you guys are having this week, you do want to lean towards February 1st is amazing for her to sign up. You know, because you're going to get points when she becomes your Pika after February 1st. And I'm not going to give you all the details, but just know that your recruits, if they become Pikas for the trip, that's always a big deal, right? I will say they upped the points. So for anybody who knows what the trips were like before, they made the Pika points even bigger than they were before. So they put a little more bang for their buck there, which is fun. So yes, in February, I really want you guys to keep the eye on the ball that January is not over, but I do want to tell you guys, because you are an elite group, there is a lot of stuff coming in February, like a lot of stuff. There's even another thing for recruiting, and there's something else for selling again, the first half of the month. So if you're not getting those parties, you're not getting her to say yes to partying with you this week, get her partying in the first half of February. And there's other things, other little fun things coming in February for sure. And March is going to be easy, you guys. So keep working your January and February. March is a new catalog. You are going to have parties of the wazoo. In fact, how many of you already are like, my March looks great? Because a lot of us are that way. Because everybody keeps saying, I'll party in March with the new catalog, right? Set up your old hostesses now. That's when you want to go. Now's the time too to go to your past hostesses that's already partied this month. Even if she just partied it in December, she can party in March. It's a new catalog, and that's 3 months from when she partied. So get your March full too. I'm not dismissing that, but don't roll it all into March. Keep working this month. Get your February front loaded. Front loaded is so good because 31 is giving you things, and front loaded is good because you have parties to book off to just go ahead and have parties still that same month. That's why I love having a party at the beginning of the February, knowing I'm going to book parties for the end of February still also, right? That's the other reason you always want to front load, because you're just in front of more people. So yes, Mackenzie's given some fun little emojis. Thank you, you guys. I did take a picture, but let's take one smiling, because I know we were talking when I took the last one. Gotta make sure I brag about all these rock stars, right? Yep, hop on if you want to hop on and be in the picture. Maria and Kristen, you guys want to be on, even if your kids are in the picture. I know you might have bathing babies in the whole 9 yards. All right, here we go. Kristen, are you coming? She's got little ones. She's probably busy. Okay, here we go. Smile. Okay, got it. All right, thanks you guys. Look forward to hearing from you, because I know you're all going to be sending me your dream boards, your Marco Polos, and all the things. Bye, guys. I'll say what the girls' principle as I'm ending it. Make it a great week or not. The choice is yours. Bye, guys.